Talua and welcome from UBC's Thunderbird Stadium, and welcome to CTV's coverage of the 1999 Pacific Rim Rugby Cup. Samoa versus Canada. Mark Dockey along with former national coach and player Gary Johnston. And Gary today remarks the return of Canada's captain Gareth Rees in this historic game between Samoa and Canada. The first time these two countries have actually met in international competition.
Yes, this is the first meeting between Samoa and Canada. It's also the first game back for Gareth Rees. Gareth Rees is the leader of Canada intellectually. He dictates the play. He's in a great position to do so. And a big part of Canada's success or failure today will be on Gareth Rees' shoulders.
So we're looking for big things from the turn of Gareth Rees, but also last game against Fiji, turnovers costly for Canada, Gary.
Yes, the turnovers are something that Dr. Parfait is looking for in the Japan game, in the Fijian game. Canada took the ball in the contact, and the ball was taken from them, or they threw a bad pass as they did in the Fijian game, and they never recovered from those two early tries that Fiji scored against Canada.
So while Canada looks to control the turnover situation, they'll have to hang on to the ball very tightly. Samoa known for their big tackles, Gary.
Yeah, the Samoan people and the way they play rugby is contact rugby. It's collision rugby. They will hit Canada often. Canada must retain possession and attack Samoa and show no fear against the Samoans.
So Canada will look to hold on to the ball. We'll be back with more coverage of CTV Sportsnet's coverage of the 1999 Epson Cup Pacific Rim Championships from UBC's Thunderbird Stadium. Welcome back, and this is Canada's third game in the 1999 Epson Cup Championship Series. The first game, of course, played in Japan, and a tough game against the Japanese, losing by 2. McCormick, the former Kiwi playing for Japan, scoring in the corner, a real heartbreaker for Canada.
And then we played against Fiji, and there's the interceptions, there's the turnover. That's Farrell scoring the try from the right wing. He sets up the next try, which you have on the highlights. Big Denny Baugh running at it. There he is again. The Farrell's back. Alfred inside. Beautiful sidestep here. Breaks inside. Feeds Alfred. Second Fijian try. We never scored. We never recovered from that. We never recovered from those 2 tries that Fiji scored last 2 weeks ago.
We'll be looking to control the turnovers then, and now we go to on-field reporter Jason Lee.
Thanks, Mark. Obviously, another beautiful day here at UBC, and that's significant for more than one reason. Obviously, the fans get to enjoy a beautiful day of rugby, but also the sunshine has somewhat helped preserve the field condition here. There were a pair of BC High School Championship games on this field earlier today. Had it been raining, it'd be a muddy mess out there, but because it has been sunny, the field is in at least respectable condition. Although after talking to Canadian assistant coach Dave Clark, he still managed to find a couple of patches out there that are less than perfect. Mark, back to you.
And Gary, some changes in the starting lineup, some last-minute changes for Samoa. The fullback injuring himself, Taanga moving out, and Vili moving to fullback and bringing Stephen Bashop in to standoff.
Well, I'm really happy to see Stephen back up at standoff. We saw his brother a little while ago playing for Japan, a Kiwi for Japan at scrum half, a Kiwi for Western Samoa at number the 10's position. He's a key player today, and he faces Gareth Rees.
And speaking of Gareth Rees, back in the Canadian squad for the first time in this Pacific Rim Championship Series. Also a roommate with Leaupepe the hooker for Samoa, and some more changes to the Canadian front row and in the backs, new centers.
On guard for thee, God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
And the Canadian anthem now finished, and we'll be waiting the pre-war dance of Samoa, the Savatau.
This game today is very important. It's John Graff's 50th cap. He led the Canadian team on the field. Just a classy move by Gareth. Allowed John to lead the boys onto the field. That job would normally be done by Gareth. And Johnny, the boys are pumped today.
John Graff, of course, surpassing Eddie Evans, the Canadian prop, who had 49 caps for Canada. Graff with his 50th international appearance back in 1989. He debuted against Ireland.
John's been around for a long time. He'll play anywhere you want him to play, and he always plays his heart out. him and Gareth playing together, an SMU combination. The two buddies from the same school together again. Mark, the Samoans challenging the Canadian team. Come at us and face the consequences.
The Samoan war dance is Sabatao, and once again the Canadian team, Gary, facing him as they did with the Thimby against Fiji.
Well, I hope today the Canadians can answer the challenge. I'm sure they can. This team, the referee today from Japan, is a physical education teacher, and this is a big game for him. He did a high school game earlier in the week just to warm up, and I was happy to be my team, and he was wonderful.
The two Canadian touch judges, Bruce Kuklinski and David Wickham. Kuklinski will be the alternate referee should something happen to Iwashita of Japan.
Pat!
This looks like a double T that we've got going here. Gareth is wearing a head protector, which is now legal in rugby. He's got a double T, invented by a fellow from Victoria, British Columbia, Mr. Don Burgess. Look, he's got him double stacked. This ball is going to be short and it's going to be high. Here it comes.
Game on, Canada-Samoa. Rees with the deep kick, fielded by Samoa.
Red ball! Save it! Outside!
Graf moves it to Gareth. Attempted the drop goal. Goes into the in-touch. Samoa with the dropout.
Canada immediately putting Samoa under pressure. They've sent down the gauntlet. They've thrown the glove. They're ready to go.
Basham with the restart. Rees fields it. Goes to the right foot. Vili punches it deep. And Scott Stewart back in the Canadian side.
Yes!
Links up with Rod Snow. Looking for space.
Release!
Graf keeping it tight to Banks, banging through. Work the blind side. There's Richard Bice.
Red ball, stay by!
Graf to Rees. A little chip through. That's fielded by Vili. And he's hit at the same time by Courtney Smith. That'll be the first line out to Samoa.
Please hold.
Well, we were hoping we weren't going to get the same kind of start we got against Fiji 2 weeks ago. A couple of interceptions and early tries, which Canada never recovered from. So far, so good. Canada will put probably 2 players up in the line out and try to make the throw spot on.
Good.
Iwashita getting the players to form the tunnel. And that's taken away by Tone.
Number 5.
Taken on by Canada. Leaupepe going in to secure the ball for Samoa after Canada made a break. Vili with the right foot. Smith gathers the ball and he's hit at the same time. And as they didn't call against Fiji, a penalty this time against Samoa, Gary.
That's right. Then we talked about the Samoan smack. Well, you've seen the first one, and I will guarantee you this will not be the only one. High ball, chip over, and bang. Poor Courtney. He's still down in the field. He's being attended to. The replacement winger for today. Hopefully that will not have to happen.
And as he talked about off the top of the show, Gary, Samoa with their big hits, Courtney Smith still being attended to on the field.
Yeah, it's a chip over the box, a beautifully high kick, and you know that was called a dangerous tackle. Courtney was not in the air, so he didn't jump for it, so he wasn't protected by law. But it was a dangerous tackle. It was too high, and this is something the Samoans do. And I played down there once, and we thought they didn't understand the law, but they hit you very, very high, and it really upset us. And luckily the referee is straight on top. That's a dangerous tackle. You must tackle below the shoulders. So even though the penalty is going to come to Canada, it doesn't help Courtney much. Jeremy Cordell is the replacement winger, And as Dr. Parfey says, you've got to be ready to go in the first 5 minutes. You can't think it's going to take a while to get replaced. You've got to be ready. There he is, Jeremy Cordell. Played well against Fiji, but it was a little bit too loose last week.
And it looks as though they won't have to use Cordell's services just yet. Courtney Smith up and about, and Smith, who had a strong game against Fiji, good to see him back on his feet.
Well, Dr. Parfey's happy. You know, Courtney's a pretty tough player. He goes into contact loss. But the physio, I don't think she's going to let him stay. If a concussion, he doesn't stay. So the physio's made the judgment. Even though he wants to stay, he'll be coming off the field, I think. They do. Usually they have a little test. They ask him the colors of the rainbow or something, and if he doesn't know them, he's coming off.
So early in the first half action, Smith making his way to the sideline, Cordell coming on, and play back underway. Graf looking for the ball, keeping it tight. Bice driving on. The Canadians just outside the Samoan 22. They'll work the blind side. Rees connecting with Nichols. Scott Bryant hit hard once again by the Samoan defense. And Samoa has retained the ball. Basham. A deep kick. It's gathered by Scott Stewart. Stewart looking to counter. Cuts back inside. Once again, he's hit hard by the Samoans.
Referee calls, set scrum to Canada. Here's the Scott Stewart coming from Bedford, a contact guy himself. He puts the smack on himself. He's feeling the power of the Samoans early in the game. Set scrum, Canada ball.
Courtney Smith is replaced by number 18.
The referee will hold things up for the first scrum of the game, making the substitution official now. Courtney Smith out. We'll try and get some information about his injury. Pack weights, as you can see, once again fairly evenly matched weight-wise, but Canada well known for their scrummaging ability, Gary.
Yes, I think the Canadians will have no problem scrummaging today.
I think
Richard Bice, the fine tight head, and Rod Snow is a very powerful scrummager. Pat Dunkley is now replaced with Mark Cardinal. A little bigger, the two hookers. A little more, Canada's opted for a little more size.
So Graf with the put in.
Nope.
They channel it back. Links with Rees. Kick back to the blind side. It's chased by Stanley. Bobbled by Samoa, but recovered.
Release!
And we'll go down to Jason Lee on the field.
Thanks, Mark. Coach Pat Parfey has just visited the dressing room to make sure that Smith is okay. And from his understanding, he has a cut in his mouth, and that's the reason he's left the game. Back to you, Mark.
So Courtney Smith with a blood injury, receiving some attention, and Basham with the clearance for Samoa.
Well, if it is a blood injury, he can come back in the game. It's a temporary replacement. If it's a concussion, of course, he's out for 3 weeks. But Dr. Parfey, he knows his stuff, so I'm sure he'll assess the situation. We may see Courtney back.
Line out, Samoa put in. Halfway mark, there's Leaupepe. Plays with Gareth Rees for the Wasps, so the former teammates now against each other. Actual roommates on the road too, Gary.
Mr. Cappuccino, they call him, the Cappuccino Kid over there, the way he dyes his hair at the front. He's the big contact person for Samoa.
So that's missed by Toney, but here comes Samoa. Leaupepe driving through. Ta'ala taking it on. Filemu moving it back. Fave. Quick tap.
I think Pat Lamas said, slow down, buddy, slow down, we can kick this one. Canada backs offside, judged by Mr. Shinitsu from Japan. His English is bits and pieces. He's a very funny guy. The players really enjoyed him this week, but he communicates it, but it's lots of action, and his English is somewhat limited. But I'm sure he knows a lot more English than we know of Japanese. I've never seen Gareth wear the head protector. I think he's taken this on. He's had probably a few knocks, and it actually does not prevent against concussions, but it does prevent against facial cuts and things along those sorts.
Rees sustaining a serious concussion while playing for Wasps this year in England, opting for the scrum cap now. A new look, probably perhaps wanting to be a bit of a forward. Danny Baugh receiving some attention there.
I think Danny seems to be filling around with a contact. And so it shouldn't be a major problem for Danny.
So the kicking duties will fall to Vili, who will look to put some points on the board. Samoa, no score.
No offside, please.
This is 40 meters out. It's routine for an international kicker, straight in front of the post.
Vili with the attempt, has the legs, and it's just wide of the right post. So Canada dodges a bullet, still no score. Rees with the restart. So a bit of a feeling out period here, Jono. So far teams just looking for their options.
First 10 minutes, no score. It's fine. Much better than a couple of weeks ago.
Rees with the high kick. Fielded by Smith. Basham with the left foot, going deep. It's covered well by Stewart. He pumps it back deep into Samoan territory. Basham fields it. Thought about countering, now he'll punch to open space. Good tactical kick. And Basham, the former All Black, already making his presence felt, Gary.
Yes, and I saw wide use of the wind. You know, Canada is against the breeze in the first half. They've kicked a lot, some high kicks, they need to get those back. But I don't believe Canada can win the kicking contest. We've got to have a bit of a breeze here. And obviously the Samoan fans are excited about this. This is the first time they've been inside the 22.
Okay.
Samoan line out. Rather Canadian line out. Dunkley with the put in. Taken well by James, who's back in the Canadian squad. And the drive is on for Canada. Moving it out to the 22.
Play!
Referee's yelling play. Once the maul stops, Canada must play this quickly.
Use it!
Use it or lose it.
Rees with a tactical up and under. Vili racing in to take it, and he's taking it well, but Canada there in numbers. Canada's stolen the ball. Graf dodging a tackle. Gareth once again. Little chip through, chased by Stanley, and he's well taken. Once again, penalty given.
Penalty. Man in the air. Do not contact the player in the air, he's been told.
Al Sharon looking for it.
Beautiful chip kick by Gareth. Winston Stanley timed it perfectly. He's in the air, you can't touch him. Penalty against Samoa.
So Vaenga, the penalized player, and some good news for Canada. Courtney Smith back in the lineup.
After receiving a few stitches.
So Jeremy Corda will take a break. Courtney Smith back on the field. And Canada now just inside the 22 of Samoa.
Recall.
Canada's opting for a short line out. They've got a 5-man line out. Their major jumper in the front. James at the back.
Overthrows James. Here goes Tone. Now outside the Samoan 22. Half break by Filemu. And he's back inside to Palamo. Here goes Basham. Looking for support. Look forward. It was taken well by Vaenga, but it will be Canadian scrum.
Mark, that was a turnover we talked about. Poorly thrown ball in the line out. Too far, Samoan ball. Winston Stanley, very, very quick. Comes over and puts the hit on, but it's a forward pass. No need.
So good attacking position for Canada.
Richard Bice has the loose head. Richard Bice, Mark, has the loose head in all sorts of trouble.
Banks unfortunately tripped up as he drove forward, but it'll be Canadian scrum again.
Yeah.
And that's Pat Lam, the Samoan captain, asking for some details about that penalty. But Canada with the quick restart. Graf. Back inside to Danny Baugh. And Dunkley wasn't ready for that one.
Back, stay back!
Samoans stolen the ball. Bishop reversing the field with the right foot.
Over!
Scott Stewart back to cover. Picks it up and he's pressured by Vanga. But they work it well. Al-Sharon. Canada's produced. Stanley going in to help Mike James. Ball not coming. Samoa good defense. They'll get the scrum.
Danny Baugh is having a problem with the contact again. Gareth is chatting to the referee about Samoans being a little bit too loose around the ruck. Al Sharon getting back there. How did that man get back there to support? Wonderful support play by Al Sharon.
Sharon, who is the Bristol Player of the Year, playing in England professionally.
Hands up!
Filemu with the put on.
Go, yo!
Graf pressuring him.
The front row's up. It should be whistled down. Okay, so what's happened is that the pressure in the front row has forced the front row players up, the three props of either team, and they'll have to step and do it again. That's considered dangerous play, so the Samoans must put it in again, and the referee saying keep down, stay down, don't get up in the front row.
So far the new combination of Snow, Dunkley, and Bice working well against the Samoan front row.
Yeah, I think so, especially Bice's position on the last scrum was excellent. Talk about the man himself. He's down there on one knee.
And Canada looking for their first win of the 1999 Epsom Cup Pacific Rim Championships. Samoa also looking for their first win, losing to Japan just last week. And Japan, who would have thought, Gary, out on top, 3 wins, no losses, beating Canada, Samoa, and Fiji.
Well, the Epsom Cup people, who sponsor, put the money in, they must be very happy because it's a Japanese company.
Say bye! Reset!
Scrum's wheeled, they'll reset.
The scrum can't be wheeled more than 90 degrees. Otherwise, it must be reset.
No score, just under 20 minutes gone. Samoa, Canada.
Capuchina Kid tying up his boot. He's a big package.
Too far! Cross!
Filemu. It's a pickup by Lam. It's dropped by Faunali. But Samoa making a break. Stolen by Rees. Nichols tries to push it through with the foot. Ball's on the deck. Canada's retained it. Rees deciding what to do, opting for touch, but does not find it. It's gathered by Tuala. Once again, Canada being penalized for going over the top, Gary.
Yes, they've got to stay on their feet if they're going to be on the wrong side of the ruck. And if they happen to fall down, they've got to get out of there so they make the ball available for the Samoans. Hutch threw the ball away. This is John Hutchison, threw the ball away, and the referee warned him like a schoolmaster to a school child.
So Bishop failing to find touch. Scott Stewart looking to counter. He fakes to Smith and drives forward.
Offside! You.
Scott Bryan into it. Rees. Back inside to Bice. And so far, Gary, Canada keeping things fairly tight. Rees deciding to keep the ball back inside to the forwards quite a lot of the time.
Yes, I think they've following more of the pattern of play that's required of them that Canada wants to play leading up to the World Cup.
Move away. Number 2.
Certainly, it was too loose against Fiji, and it's tightened up considerably today. Pat Dunkley moving away slowly.
Rees with the penalty. makes no mistake and finds touch.
Mark,
The
some of the,
VIP tent.
yeah, some of the kicks that Gareth might make, he'll need them to stay on the field of play. So he wants them to see if the Samoans can counterattack and see what Canada can do with pressure. So a lot of the long kicks, he might leave them on the field of play instead of banging them out. But on penalty, of course, he'll always try to find touch.
Dunkley with the call. Looking to James, who takes it cleanly.
From behind.
Canada moving well up the blind side. That's Dunkley. Graf to Rees. Dummies. Tries to flip back inside. And Winston Stanley punches it through. He gets the bounce. And Stanley's in for Canada. The first try of the match to the Canadians. What a play by Winston. You can't teach speed, Gary, and Winston Stanley has loads of it.
On the replay. Here we go. Look at this. Gareth throws the loose pass behind his back. The Samoans on attack. All of a sudden, ball's kicked through. We get a fortuitous bounce. Winston Stanley, one of the fastest players on the Canadian team, running for it, and he outlegs the Samoans.
Great try for the winger, who's moved back to wing after playing outside center against Japan and Fiji. So Pat Parfrey moving him back to his natural position, where he is indeed Canada's top try scorer with 12, now 13. Rees with the conversion.
Yes, here we go again. You see a little bit of a loose play right here. Ball getting flipped around. Winston kicks it. He gets a great bounce. It bounces right back to him. The fastest man in the Canadian team takes the ball and outlegs 3 Samoans for the first points of the game. Gareth has converted. The score is now 7-0 for Canada. Let's keep it rolling, boys.
Restart. Taken on. A little sloppy. Quickly, Canada penalized. Probably an opportunity for Samoa to put some points on the board.
They missed their first kick. This is an easier kick. The big question is always, will they go to the corner or will they go to the post? They've indicated he's going to have another shot at it. They're prepared to go for the 3 points.
Sharon back in the Canadian side, his second game in the Pacific Rim Cup.
And the boys are glad that El Sharon's back. He said against Fiji, he is the heart and soul of the team. Players love this guy. You can't ever say a bad word about El Sharon. Comes from Ottawa, and he plays professionally overseas.
47 caps for the veteran, Al Sharon. Vili will look to put some points on the board for Samoa. And Vili using the Tetley tee as well, Gary.
Yes, that Tetley tee's found its way all over the world. There are a few copies, but there's only one Tetley tee invented by Don Burgess.
He struck it well. Stays true, and Samoa on the board. Canada 7, Samoa 3. And you get the feeling, Jono, that things are beginning to open up a little bit. The tentative side of things is beginning to be over, and now they're starting to open up.
Right, in the first 10 minutes, you're feeling out the 2 opposing teams, and we expect a lot of scoring from these 2 teams. They're both exciting teams. They're both capable of scoring a lot of points, and that's what the crowd wants to see, and hopefully at the end of the day, the Canada will have the most, and will keep this Canadian crowd in the game supporting their team.
And a huge crowd on hand indeed to watch this match. The first match between the 2 countries. As Hutchinson almost had a breakaway there.
Hold. Engage.
Samoan scrum. It's outside the 10-meter line. Filemu marshalling his troops as they move forward.
90-degree wheel, stop, set scrum, do it again. That was a great scrum by Samoa. Canada cannot fade, cannot tire. I'm sure there will be some replacements in the front row later on because of fatigue, but it's much too early for that now. They've got to concentrate.
Hands up. Hands
And the Pat Lam will move it wide to Filemu, looking to link, but it's stolen by Canada. Great pickup by Courtney Smith. Canada looking to keep it tight. Graf trying to get.
He's in the wrong side.
Glendinning out of the way. Sharon drives it on.
Look at number 4 on the wrong side of the ball, stopping the ball from going.
Smith
should be a penalty.
Should have been penalized. It's Nichols. Puts the up and under. Vili hit hard by Stanley. Offside call against Samoa, Gary, and a great opportunity for Canada.
Now what happened is Winston waited for the ball. It's great. Here comes Winnie coming down, puts the hit on him, and then the Samoan plays the ball from the knock-on. You can't do that. You're denying Canada the opportunity to pick it up and score. So set scrum, and Mr. Rees will come on the scene, and he will kick 3 for Canada. Winston Stanley. Mike James from Perpignan, France, he's back. There's Hutch from Japan, he's back. I think the team is here, with the exception of maybe David Lougheed, who's not back yet, and Mike Schmidt, who should be playing today, but he made a little mistake at practice, and he's sitting out and watching this game for a while. I expect to see him later as well. But I think this is the Canadian team if they don't blow it. And if they do blow it, there'll be some changes made. So if these guys want to stay on the squad, play against the Americans, they have to play well today. And so far, so good.
Both Canada and Samoa in this year's 1999 Rugby World Cup. Different pools, of course. Rees scrubs through the penalty. Canada 10, Samoa 3. So Rees is 1 for 1.
Well, the whole thing that started that was Gareth made a great tackle on the blind side, and there was a turnover from Samoa over back to Canada. I mean, the man does it all.
And Samoa with the restart. Bishop goes deep. It's gathered by Sharon. And a big hit against Banks, but he keeps his feet and keeps the ball, more importantly. Rees opting to the blind side, looking for touch, and he'll clear it just past center. Once again, that Samoan smack we talked about off the top of the show, Gary, but Banks doing a good job retaining the ball there.
What they're arguing about here, and I think the referee's out of line here, you can take a quick line out if the players are back, and that's what Samoa attempted to do, but in rugby, the referee's word is law, and there seems to be a discussion here. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
So they'll move the lineup back to its original position, and they'll do it over. Leaupepe. Didn't look straight.
Now that was crooked as can be. Okay, so the free kick before the crooked throw. Canada was up too early. Boy, they were up high. They were up too early, and that's what the penalty's for. It's a free kick. They cannot go to touch.
Filemu tapping, keeping it tight to Smith. He's gathered by Mike James. Bice. Filemu back inside to Ta'ala. Bishop links, and Lam almost through. Bishop, he's finding space. He's got it out to Leaupepe. Good defense by the Canadians. Samoa produces. Faunali will take a run at the pack.
Well, that's pretty good English. You're offside number 11. You're offside number 11, and he gave Samoa the advantage and then penalized him. This is a difficult kick, and we'll see if the Samoans opt for the 3 or go to the corner.
Vili, the right-footed kicker for Samoa, doing the kicking duties today.
No, they decided to go for the kick in the corner. Samoan line out inside the 22.
And once again, Gary, when the team is kicking the penalty kick to touch, they do indeed get the line out afterwards.
Right, it's kind of like a double penalty, so you have to behave yourself out there.
So a tactical kick by the Samoans, and Leaupepe will bring it back in play, just inside the Canadian 22. Goes high to Tonne. Leaupepe to Lam. Ball's on the deck, up for grabs. A tough call against Canada.
Yeah. Again, Canadian players lying on the ball, and this is an easy 3. But the Samoans were going at 100 miles an hour driving into that ruck. Canada just can't give up the penalties. Well, they've chosen a scrum. Interesting. An automatic 3 points. They think they're so strong in the set, and they've got such a great back row play, and they've got something. We're going to see it now. They don't want the 3, they want 5.
So Samoa looking for more. Inside the Canadian 22. Scrum collapsed. They'll restart it.
Extremely important scrummaging inside the 22. Inside their 22, inside our 22. Canada has got to be tight. Pat Dunkley, Rod Snow, and Richard Bice.
Against the Samoan front row of Favae, Leota, and Pala'amo.
The Samoans, of course, claiming that Canada's taking it down. If you don't get good position, you might slip it down. Here's a penalty against Canada again. The Japanese referee believes the Canadian team has taken it down. And the Samoan says, no, we don't want 3 points. We're taking the scrum again, and here we come.
Rees looking for some clarification about the call, but Samoa opting to re-scrum.
2 cross, engage.
Front row's engaged, tremendous
Hold
thud.
on, you.
You've got to be a hard man to play in the front row.
Back to the scrum's collapsed again. Seems both teams having some difficulty maintaining it.
Well, there's so much pressure in there, and the problem is the Samoans may be going for the penalty try. I mean, if Canada keeps collapsing it, and I'm not saying they are, and who knows?
Engage.
But it could be a penalty try if they keep taking it down.
Hey, save it.
Leaupepe links up with Leaupepe. Some desperate defense by the Canadians. Samoa knocking on the line.
Canada has the ball. They just hold it up. Canada ball. Yes.
Fantastic defense by the Canadians stealing the ball when Samoa was knocking on the doorstep, Gary.
They don't want 3, they want 5. Now they're not going to get 5. Well done, Canada. Tremendous defense. Canada held up that ball, and Samoa was unable to produce it. Set scrum, Canada ball. Expect a big shove from the Samoans if they've got anything left.
Engage.
Canada with the put-in Graf.
Hold by.
Good solid set by the Canadian.
Canada rock solid.
Graf links with Rees. Gets the kick away. Keeps it in bounds though. It's taken by Tuala.
So this is brilliant tactics, right? High ball, let him catch it, take him out of bounds, or put in. Great stuff. Beautiful stuff, Gareth. Well done. Good coaching. Good idea. He was never going for touch.
One of those kicks we talked about earlier, Gary, where it was a tactical kick meant to stay in bounds, and now Canada with the line out.
Morgan, please. Brew back. All right.
17, 54, 91 red.
Dunkley looking at the front, trying to connect with Al Sharon, who missed it.
Stay back. No!
But Canada secured the ball. Rees with a little chip through. Fielded by Samoa, looking to counter. The ball pops out.
Offside.
But the referee signaled offside against Canada. And will the Samoans go for 3 this time or have a scrum?
I think they've tested and they've felt the Canadian scrum. Pat Lam says.
Pat Lamb's giving some instructions.
Shot.
Says going for goal.
And Vili comes in, looking to add to the 3-point total of Samoa.
He's a wonderful man. He's very, very soft-spoken. Take shots for goal, he says. Hey, they don't want to scrummage anymore. Okay, well done, Canada. Now they'll try to go for the 3.
So Vili will look to cut the lead to 4 points.
6
1
minutes
for
left.
2.
6 minutes left in the half. And 10-6 is better than 10-3.
Better than 21-5, which I think it was against Fiji.
Well, Canada got off to a terrible start against Fiji. They were way too loose. And, after talking to the coaching staff and the players after the game, that wasn't a game plan. The players' excitement, the huge crowd, a little bit too loose. Today is much better, much tighter.
Vili struck it well. Doesn't carry, hits the post. Canada forced to bring it out. Graf looking for touch. Leaupepe. He'll try his luck against the Canadian defense, but strong tackle by Graf.
Now on the replay here, this is great. Kick off the goalpost. Now Johnny needs to know you can mark this kick. Johnny catches it and solves the problem, clears the ball out of the line. Here's the long kick. It's almost off the post, right to John Graf. He can actually mark this to stop the play. But he still cleared the line fine.
Lamb picks up. He links with Faunali. Here's a break for Ta'ala. Bishop. They work it out to Tuala. Works his way back inside, looking for support.
Blue ball, red. Cross.
Here's Bishop. The missed pass to Vili. He's back inside to Leaupepe.
Went forwards, Canada's ball. They have an advantage here.
Blue back, blue.
Do they want the advantage or they want the set scrum?
Stanley looking for his options. Back inside to Nichols, who punches
advantage.
one through.
There's no advantage there, ref.
Vili finding the whistle, but it's a Samoan scrum, Gary.
Well, I don't know. Because the ball was kicked, there was certainly no advantage to that. It was not a great kick, right to a Samoan. And Canada would much prefer to have the set scrum and possession. But again, the referee's interpretation of the law.
So the Canadian scrum half, John Graf, his 50th appearance for Canada. Seems to be all right. Received some medical attention, but he's back on the field. Scrum down Samoa. Filemo. And once again, Gary, collapse scrum. Samoan penalty.
Well, I'm looking and I'm trying to find out who's bringing the scrum down, and I can't tell. He's saying he's dropping his head, Richard Weiss, the tight head. I'll have to watch very closely.
Bishop makes the clearance. And the Samoan line out on the Canadian 22 just before halftime. About 2 minutes to go. Canada leading Samoa 7-3. Rather, 10-3.
He clocks it. Yep. Oh!
Leota is stolen by Canada. Graf to Rees. This time, trying to find touch. It's played back in by Vanga.
Went forward. Kuklinski, the touch judge, is trying to indicate that little tap-in went forward. Where the English is a problem. Kuklinski, the referee's looking like he's not picking up on this. This may be a problem. Usually, referees work in threes. They all speak the same language. Kuklinski, the touch judge, you see him in the picture, you indicate that was a forward knock-on. Should have been or maybe this is a set scrum for Canada.
Canadian scrum down. Graf links with Rees. The wide pass to Nichols, who's hit hard. Just went forward from Brian's hands. Knocked forward by the Canadian center, and it'll be scrum down Samoan ball, but Canada looking to attack just before halftime.
Turnover again. No, great Samoan hit.
Yeah.
Change over, change of possession. The ball went forward into contact, and set scrum, Samoan ball.
Hold. Engage.
Dr. Parfrey must be more pleased this week than 2 weeks ago.
Go, 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 go. Go, play on. Use it, use it, use it.
Lamb links to Filemu. Back to Basham. Hit hard by Graf. 10-3, Canada leading. We're into injury time in the first half.
Right, we're very close to halftime. The key is to watch the referee looking at his watch. Once he starts peeking at his watch, that means it's darn close. We've got the physios coming on the field again, and we'll see who the player is they're attending to.
That case, I think.
It's Pat Dunkley, the hooker. The replacement hooker, Mark Cardinal, is stretching on the bench. Pat Dunkley is looking at an ankle. He might just have gotten stepped on. He'll be fine if that's the only problem he has to deal with.
The magic sponge working its magic.
220 pounds of muscle. Pat Dunkley, Johnny Graf getting that little cut. You can't play with blood nowadays with the HIV problem. It's immediately the player goes off. Stop the blood. We don't want blood going in anybody in a rugby field.
So John Graf will likely get sutures at halftime, but for now, he'll stay on the field. We're into injury time in the first half. Canada leading Samoa 10-3. Pat Lamb controlling the ball. Links with Filemu. Work it outside to Vili, looking for support, but knocked on by Tuala.
No. Scrum.
So Samoa looking to attack, but making some turnovers of their own.
You're never going to have a game with perfect. You know, there's going to be mistakes, there's going to be turnovers. You've got to minimize the turnovers. Canada's doing a much better job today in minimizing the turnovers.
Spectacular day, though, in Vancouver, so ideal to run the ball.
Great, and Canada has been facing a little bit of wind. The wind's kind of died down a little bit, and I hope that Canada gets it up and going in the second half. I don't know if they have any control of that, but they should start the fans out here and get the wind blowing a bit.
So the battle of the front rows continue, almost collapsing. Quick ball out of the back of the scrum. Penalty to Canada.
Number 1.
Now he's talking number 1, taking the scrum down. The Western Samoans taking the scrum down. Certainly the Samoan loosehead was in terrible position against Richard Weiss. Halftime.
So halftime, Canada leading Samoa 10-3. John Graf, 50th appearance for Canada. We'll get some look. Go down now to Jason Lee on the field.
Thanks. I'm now with head coach Pat Parfrey, and Pat, obviously you got the lead this time. Better game than last time for the first half.
Yeah, well, we're playing more tight control, and we're tackling very well. Our defense is strong. It's a very punishing game. It's not terribly exciting, but it's for the aficionados, it's a good game of rugby. There's a big battle in the scrum at the moment. In fact, I think their tight head prop is taking the scrum down or their loose head prop is taking the scrum down. We've got to be more precise when we got the ball in our hands because we've had opportunities.
Thanks a lot, Pat. Mark, back to you.
It's the Canadian captain. Jason will have a halftime feature on the Canada Super Series. We'll have more after this. Canada leading 10-3 over Samoa.
The Honorable Left.
Welcome back to Epson Cup Pacific Rim Rugby. The score at the half, Canada leading Samoa 10-3. Now, Canada has never been in the top 5 in the world in terms of ranking. They're trying to accomplish that goal, of course, with the World Cup of Rugby this year, and they're finding new ways to develop homegrown talent now.
And welcome back. Canada leading Samoa 10-3. And off the top of the show, we talked about it. Gary, the Samoan smack, and we've seen it already a few times in this game.
It happened several times in the first half where the Samoans put the big hit on the Canadian players. Here's the chip over the back of the ruck, and Courtney Smith is the first recipient of the Samoan smack.
So Smith is leveled, and Courtney Smith is leveled, but Winston Stanley, the other wing for Canada, making his most back on the wing from outside center with this try for Canada.
Well, Winston was a little lucky. He got his foot to it. He got a wonderful bounce for Canada. Bounces straight back to Winston. Winston takes it ahead and outruns 2 Samoan chasers.
So Stanley with the speed. Canada leading Samoa 10-3. We'll be back with the second half action from CTV Sportsnet's coverage of the 99 Epson Cup Pacific Rim Championship. And don't forget, Epson Pacific Rim rugby action continues on CTV Sportsnet June 19th as Canada takes on US in Toronto. Game time is 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And remember, CTV Sportsnet is the home of the 1999 Rugby World Cup. And CT's coverage of the NBA playoff continues tomorrow as the New York Knicks continue their unlikely journey through the playoffs against Larry Bird and the Indiana Pacers. Tune in to the main CTV network, 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 in the East for Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, Mark, there's the man, Gareth Rees. He has lived up to expectations. He had exceeded expectations, in my opinion. He's got a bit of a breeze behind him in the second half. The game is certainly not out of the woods for Canada now. 10-3 is not a big enough lead to relax. It's been a very, very tight game, but a very good technical game of rugby.
John Graff appears to be okay. Suffered a facial laceration in the first half of action. Likely that he had that sutured up at halftime. They go right back in the game, don't they, Gary?
No problem. It's a man's game, and now it's a woman's game as well.
Very politically astute of you.
They just don't play together. At the younger ages, they do. But when they get older, the guys tend to get a little bigger. That's the. We have the Canadian women's team here watching this game today. They support each other.
So Samoa at the restart. Canada leading Samoa 10-3. Second half action underway as James taps it back.
Canada was very concerned about. They're very good when they kick off and getting it back. They've had some trouble getting the ball back when the ball's kicked to them. So they've been working on that this week. There was a knock on by the Samoans, so Canada got the ball back. But it wasn't a clean catch in the kickoff.
Once again, some trouble in the front row. But Graff will move it to Rees. Right foot, cross field. Will it roll out of bounds? Does, but it will be Samoan line out. Beautiful back for Samoa, Vili.
Beautiful tactical kick by Gareth Rees.
Okay.
Samoa's going with a full line out.
They go to the front of the line out, taken by Smith. Leaupepe holding it tight. Canada driving them out of bounds, but not quite. Basham. Oh, and a great tackle.
Take a little Canadian smack, buddy.
Great hit by the Edmontonian Danny Ba. Samoa trying to work it outside their 22. Scrum down Canada. Great defense by the Canadians.
Here we go. A little bit of Canadian smack by Danny Bob Memon. That's what he does for Cardiff, Wales. One of the top and most feared tacklers in Wales. He's back here laying the licks out today. Great stuff. This is a potential drop kick situation. I see we've got Danny Ba scrum half, so they'll probably run from the back row. Gareth is set for the drop kick, but Danny Ba putting the ball in usually means a back row play.
Canada opts to keep it tight instead. Sharon driving forward. Graff to Rees. Looking for Stewart. It's gathered by Courtney Smith. As Nichols failed to find him. Canada still with the ball. Outside the Samoan 22. Rees back inside to James. Rees, quick hands to Stewart. Here goes Hutchinson. Finds Nichols. Nichols unable to hang on to it. Advantage Samoa. One of those unforced errors once again.
That's the result of the old Samoans coming in with a hit. I think Kyle, you could feel their breath coming in, and I think he just mishandled that ball. That's Scotty Stewart going back in fullback. He's come back from Bedford. He's a very experienced player at the fullback position. Will probably be, if he plays well, the Canada fullback.
Stewart, who is playing on release from the Harlequins for Bedford in England, just making his return to Canada along with Mike James, Mike Schmidt. Gareth Rees, all playing overseas now professionally.
Well, everyone's back except for David Lougheed. And he's a winger, and he'll probably be in the starting team if he's judged fit. Samoa's taking a little bit of a break here. The scrum went down. Canada at some point will replace some of their players. They've used this in other games.
Nothing happened there on that set. It was just pressure.
Introduce number 3, Ted the official wireless communications supplier.
So Pala'amo seems to be all right. Front rows will engage. Canada leading Samoa 10-3. Early action in the second half.
Number 1, number 3.
Samoan scrum.
Go straight.
Scrum beginning to wheel. Ball comes out. Lamb takes it on.
Blue. Red. Off. Stay on side. Stay on side.
Filemu decides to keep. Tries the right foot. Courtney Smith takes it. He's on the line, so that will be Canada line out.
Yes, Courtney caught the ball out of bounds, and here's the kick. Courtney caught the ball inbounds and stepped out of bounds. It would be Samoan ball, but he's on the line when he catches it, so he's out of bounds, right? And so therefore the ball's out of bounds, and it's a line out Canada ball. Pat Dunkley to throw the ball in.
58, 51, Alberta.
Going to the back of the lineup. Great hands by James Graf. Graf and Rees and Nichols unable. Here comes Samoa with the counter. Get it up to Vanga. Samoa regrouping. They're throwing it around now. Lamb takes on Stewart. Basham. Leota. He'll try his luck. Good tackle by Hutchinson. Little push through. Chasing. And Courtney Smith just able to beat out Tuala, but almost a try for Samoa, Gary.
Well done, Courtney. Courtney fought for that ball. That was extremely important. Gareth went down on the play, and he's being administered to by the physio, and he's working on his leg.
But a great hit here by Pat Lamb.
On Scotty Stewart.
Scotty Stewart
comes up to make the hit on Pat Lamb, a former All Black. Bit of a man mountain, and he rocked Scott Stewart. Look at Courtney fight for the ball.
Tudala slipping there, and Courtney Smith able to gather in the in-goal area, forcing the Canadian dropout, but very fortunate for Canada there that Samoa didn't score.
Yeah, it's very, it wasn't just luck. I think Courtney, he fought for that loose ball and gave him a little shove as well. You're allowed to chase shoulder to shoulder. And I think Courtney gave him a little more than that, actually, but it worked fine. Now, if you see a look of concern on Dr. Parfy's face, it's when Gareth goes down. But he's up, taking the drop kick. Things are okay. He ices it.
Basham back inside to Tuala. He's taken down by Banks.
There was nothing
asking to move it.
There was nothing on with the counterattack.
Basham keeping it tight. Tuala. Filemu. Faunali making an attempt to go up the sideline, driven out by Courtney Smith. Samoa looking to produce. Just outside the halfway line.
Gareth is stuck in the middle, so they got to go to Richard Bice.
Canada stolen the ball. Big hit by Leota on Bice, but Bice produces. Nichols outside to Bryant, driving forward. Graf, quick ball to Rees. The right foot, the chip through. Chased down by Vanga. Rolls out of bounds.
Yes, Gareth made that little chip kick and then winced with pain. Bob Ross is the replacement. Very experienced campaigner. But Gareth's leadership is hard to recover. So Gareth makes the kick, and then all of a sudden he's down with the pain. That right leg is hurting him.
Yeah.
So Rees still on the field, receiving some attention, whether it's a knee or a calf injury.
Now that is a look of concern. What do you say, Mark?
Canada's captain, Gareth Rees, still on the field receiving attention. And
Again,
it looked rather innocent, but something must be wrong with his right knee.
Well, he was down before, and he got a bit of help, but things are not... It'll take a lot to get Gareth off this field. Bobby Ross has been warming up, and he's the replacement. And Gareth's kicking ability is extremely important, especially with this breeze that we have in the second half. Cappuccino Kid ready to throw the ball in the line out.
Leaupepe with the restart. Challenged by James, but kept by Samoa. Ball popped to Hutchinson. The referee calling offside against Canada.
He determined that was a ruck, and Mike was standing in an offside position. He picked the ball up. 2 men bound over the ball constitutes a ruck. It's a little loose, but whatever the referee says goes.
Samoa not finding touch. Stanley will punch it to the open field. Here comes Vili to take it. Little chip through past Nichols. Scott Bryan taking out Vili, but not penalized. Vili tried to chip through.
Okay, this is a tactical sub. John Teal coming in for Richard Bice. This has been organized ahead of time. John Teal, a very good prop as well. Probably a little more mobile than Richard Bice. But the question is, how will he scrummage against this Samoan team?
So Bice will take a well-deserved rest. Bishop now. The missed pass. Here goes Tuala. Still with the ball.
Red, move away.
Samoa opening it up. Bishop.
Leaupepe,
but Bishop knocks it forward.
Group, red, both knock on.
Knock on Samoa. Canadian scrum.
This is a bad day for Gareth. He just got one in the face. He went to make that tackle, and he caught a hand, I think, in the face or the eyes.
Welcome home.
Things are not going well.
The Samoan substitution.
Breathing.
He must have caught a finger in the eye or something. You see his left eye's bleeding, so he's got to leave the field. And Bob Ross will come on as a blood substitute, which means Gareth can't come back on. But it's up to Dr. Parfrey. Stitch that up, and they'll check his leg and his eye at the same time.
Blood substitution number 17.
So Rees off, and here's what happened.
Well, Gareth's in everything. You know, he's coming around, and he just caught it right there.
So Rees with the injury, but he forced the knock-on by Bishop with the Canadian scrum. Foot up.
This is Samoan pushing too early, and this was the first test. Canadians trying to run the ball before the referees finish chatting. So the referees stopped them from taking a quick penalty, which they'd like to do. But the Samoans are pushing too soon. They can't push until the ball's put in the scrum.
Graff with the tap. Hutchinson.
Right, hands off.
Taking on Ta'ala. Bobby Ross with his first touch. The towering up and under. Vili takes it on, eludes a tackle. He's gathered by Bryan. Samoa trying to produce the ball. Go down to Jason Lee on the field.
Thanks, Mark. Gareth Rees has gone into the dressing room. He's having his eye attended. Once the cut is stitched up, he will return to the game. As for his right knee, he landed on it hard, but it's not expected to keep him out of the game, so he will be back.
Thanks, Jason. So Rees likely to return. Bobby Ross in for Gareth at the moment. Referee allowing advantage of Samoa. Things a little sloppy right now, but Samoa with the quick tap. So player still on the field. Smith is down for Samoa. They almost run into his side.
If the play goes near that player, then the referee will blow it up and give a set scrum. But he's allowing the play to continue even with the plane down.
Faunali trying to make a break. Continuous action here. A break by Leaupepe. He's through. One to beat. And he beats him. Try Samoa. Plenty of Samoan fans in the crowd here cheering that try. Leaupepe through for the first Samoan try. And Gary, a breakdown in the Canadian defense just for a moment. That's all it took.
They can't afford to go to sleep in this game, and it's sort of hand tackles allow the Samoan to come through and bring Samoa right back into this game. The mark, if a dog starts to pee in the bush, he'll never catch the rabbit. And Canada cannot afford to go to sleep at this point in the game. They're going to win this one. Now we've got the Samoan fans getting into the game. They're waving Samoan flags. They're cheering. Canada fans are quiet. We must regain the composure. This is festival time here at UBC. We have the Samoans here. We have the Fijians here. We have the Tongans here. All the Islanders cheering for the Samoans today.
Vili will have a restart here for the conversion attempt. Ball looked like it fell off the tee. Canada rushed. Graf questioning the referee as to
what happens is the players are allowed to run as soon as he moves forward, but he must be approaching. Now what's happening here is once they approach the ball to kick it, the Canadian players are allowed to rush. It's his Japanese interpretation. He felt that he wasn't approaching to kick it, so therefore there is no rush.
In a critical juncture too, as the conversion does allow Samoa to tie the game. Canada 10, Samoa 10. Vili with the conversion. Leaupepe with the try. It was just that half break, Gary.
That's all it took, and Canada players were caught a little sleeping there, and a couple of hand taps, and even Danny Ball, one of the fastest men in the Canadian team, can't run the Samoan down.
Play underway. Rees with the deep restart. Rather Ross. Penalty against Canada. Courtney Smith being penalized.
Gareth is moving around and checking out that right leg. John Graf is leaving the game and is replaced by Julian Loveday, a veteran player from the Calgary Irish. And this is his first chance to play in this Epsom Cup Series.
So Rees went for sutures, but they were unable to suture the cut. They've added some Vaseline. He'll warm up his knee. In the meantime, we've got a Canadian substitution. John Graf, who is making his 50th appearance for Canada, will be substituted and has been by Julian Loveday. Things starting to heat up in the forward packs.
Well, that's good, and hopefully the Canada will heat up as well. We've got to meet strength with strength. Ah, very good. This is no set scrum, Canada ball. Very good.
Samoa making no progress.
Oh, well, John Graf's getting into it. Come on, boys, that's okay. Samoan driving ahead. They can't produce the ball. Ball goes to Canada, set scrum. Gareth is coming back in. And Bobby can't come back in again. If Gareth was to hurt himself and his ankle was no good, then Bobby Ross would come in and replace Gareth again. There's no limit to the amount of blood substitutions you can have.
Canada 10, Samoa 10. Rees working the blind side. Courtney Smith chasing. Vili with the take and the mark with the quick tap. Looking for space. Just missed by Banks. Some footwork by the Samoans. Basham. Outside to Founali. Looking for space. Leaupepe driving forward. Quick ball. Basham. Finding Favaye.
Release, guys!
Taken on by Leota. Basham, driven back by Stanley. Kyle Nichols helping out. More footwork by the Samoans. They've produced the ball. Ball's out. It's a substitution for Samoa making some headway.
Here's a turnover to Canada. Great tackle by Johnny Teal. Ball goes the other side. John Teal gets a little smack in the face from the Cappuccino kid. Friendly. That was a great tackle by John Teal, the prop. Now there's Dr. Parfrey. Now the touch judges have a lot to say, and they're mic'd to the referee. And he's saying that the referee's lost control. And this is a very important game for the phys ed teacher from Tokyo. And he can't afford to lose control of this game. I don't think he has, but he's got to be sharp on some of the hits that are going on, and I assume the stopping that's going on.
So Julian Loveday will restart it as the front rows collapse. Loveday in for John Graff.
Move. No move.
Big Al Sharon. No quit
Okay,
him.
Before the putting, don't move.
Now we see Mike Schmidt on the sidelines. Now he is the player that was originally selected to play, and he missed practice, had some car trouble, was sat down. Now he's a stud. This boy can really hit. He'll come in a number 8 spot, and I guess Dr. Parfrey he's served his time in purgatory, and they're bringing him in. They're bringing him in probably to the number 8 spot for Ryan Banks.
Number 8. Okay.
So Schmidt will get the get out of jail free card, and Banks the high five, and a good effort by Ryan Banks, making his 3rd international appearance for Canada. And he'll get a well-deserved rest as Rees back on the field for Canada. Ryan Banks, who plays for the Burnaby Lake Club here in Vancouver.
Right, and Mike Schmidt is a professional player for Rotherham, and he played for Abbotsford before he left to go to be a professional player. Things are heating up. I mean, that's okay. You can't just take it, you know. You got to stand up.
Things are indeed heating up. Both teams looking for their first win this year's 99 Epson Cup Pacific Rim Championship. Knocked forward by Loveday, but a penalty called against Samoa. Fortunately for Canada.
Gareth has hit 1 kick since he was back on with his leg. It was a monstrous kick that landed inside the 22. So I think that leg hopefully is okay. He'll bang this ball long to touch, try to put the ball inside the 22-meter line. No, it's not going to make it, but that's okay.
Still deep by Rees. Samoa forced to catch, kick out. Still works out in Canada's favor. Line out Canada.
Works out fine. It was a poor kick by the Samoans. Shake your head. And Canada ball on the 22. We're in scoring position. Even Gareth can shank the odd one.
Vili not happy with his return kick.
28.
Canada right on the 22 of Samoa. Dunkley in. Goes to James. Drives on. Loveday. Great hands by Rees. Taken on by Courtney Smith.
Unfortunately, it was a bad pass to Gareth, and so he couldn't get it at pace.
Rees back inside to Hutchinson, who's hit hard. And Rees is hobbling once again, but play continues. Snow taking it on. Loveday. Outside to Nichols, looking for almost intercepted. We saw it against Fiji twice, and almost another time against Samoa. Rees down on the field for Canada.
I would say he's got to go. I mean, Gareth he just does not want, look at this, he does not want to go. Bobby will do the job, Gareth. I mean, you can't play on one leg.
So here's a look at it. Rees back inside to Hutchinson, and you can just see something's wrong with that
knee. He wasn't hit. He just planted the foot, and it's just not ready to go. It's a big hand for Gareth.
Canadian substitution, number 10, Gareth Rees. Is replaced by number 17.
So Rees disappointed. First game back for Canada. Unable to continue. They'll have to watch the rest of this match from the bench, but Bobby Ross, an able replacement, coming into the standoff position.
Bobby Ross played in the standoff position the first 2 games against Fiji and against Japan. He's a fullback as well, so he can handle either one of those spots. This is a Canada penalty to Canada. Bobby, I think, will bang the ball in the corner, and we'll have a Canadian line-out. Against Fiji, they drove at the back. They drove at the back of the line-out, and they were very effective doing that. The problem is that they often pull down this driving maul, and they haven't got any penalties so far, so the referee's not prepared to call the collapse maul, it appears. So the Canada team, shortened line out.
46, 21. Good draw.
We've got 2 players out, Danny Baugh, so they may not drive it.
Taken by James to Loveday. Back inside to Snow, who powers forward. Loveday to Ross. Keeping it tight.
Danny Baugh
driving ahead. Canada just outside the Samoan post. Loveday. Ross looking for support. Taken on by Scott Stewart, who's driven back by Leaupepe. Canada still moving forward though. Canadian scrum. Now we're starting to see some fire by the Canadians.
It's very important that the Canada team does not lose possession of this ball. Now they're inside the 22. Because the ball was on the ground and the Canadian team were going forward, it was a ruck. The Canadian team gets the scrum back. The Samoans could put a lot of pressure on the scrum if they're capable of doing it. Mike Schmidt controlling the back.
Advantage!
Here goes Mike Schmidt.
Picked up by Schmidt, links with Loveday, who makes a half break. Canada knocking on the door. Still with the ball. Trying to drive it forward, but it looks like it's being killed by the Samoans. Penalty against Samoa.
Samoa's in the wrong side. You can't possibly get the ball there with this guy lying over the ball. So he's got to get out of there. This is a kickable penalty, and I think the Canada, yes, they've indicated that Bob Ross will take the 3 points for the 3-point lead.
So the T's on the field. Bobby Ross, his first attempted goal in today's match, a late substitution for the injured Gareth Rees. Samoan player down in the field receiving some attention.
Mark, it's nice to have a player of Bob Ross's ability and capabilities to step in for Gareth. Gareth, there he is. You know, he'll never leave. He'll be part of this team right to the very end. But you can't play on one leg, and he's smart enough to know that, no matter how much he wants to. Especially with a guy like Bobby sitting on the bench waiting to step in.
Ta'ala back up for Samoa, but Rees, the veteran, battered from a full season of play for the Wasps. 16 points he kicked in the final to lead the Wasps to the Tetley Cup.
Gareth's been to 3 World Cups. He'll be the only player ever to go to 4 World Cups. And the body does take a beating.
So Bobby Ross, the penalty for Canada, looking to give them lead for the first time in the second half.
Feel the pressure, love the pressure.
Struck it well, and he's got it! Canada 13, Samoa 10. As you said, Gary, more than able replacement for Gareth. We've already seen Bobby Ross score well against Japan and against Fiji. And he strokes that one through for Canada against Samoa.
Well, I think the biggest thing is you bring the crowd back in the game. You bring the Canadian fans. They want something to cheer about. You know, and with the improved play of the Canadian forwards, the aggression they've shown now, driving forward play, and then Bobby putting that through, the Canadian fans are back in.
Looked like it was tapped forward by Samoa.
Tapped forward. He said play on.
Referee allowing play to continue.
He might have felt it came off a Canadian hand, but it looked to me that it was mishandled by the Samoan. It went forward. It should have been a Canadian set scrum.
In a good attacking position, unfortunately for Samoa, just past the 10-meter line.
No. Don't touch. Don't touch.
And a small substitution. Number 20, Leaupepe, replaces number 6, Semi Ta'ala.
90-degree wheel. Whistle it up.
The new front row of Teal, Snow, and Dunkley.
We don't want the Canadian team to wheel towards the center of the field. It opens up the blind side too much for the Western Samoans. That's a better scrum by Canada.
Filemuta Bashop. They use the blind wing. They've linked. Saralafa, he's making a break. Cuts back inside. Cover tackle by Canada. Samoa on the doorstep. Driving forward. Looked like he knocked it forward.
He did. The Japanese referee is saying that the Canadian players were offside. The penalties come to the team that goes forward, the team with the ball most often than not. And there's a bit of helter-skelter there. It's hard to see who was where. But you can only be offside off a ruck or a maul, not in loose play. So are they going to choose to set scrum?
So the Samoan front row will test the Canadian front row.
This would be a big test for John Teal at tight head.
5-meter scrum almost.
Yeah, they don't want
Samoa.
They don't want the 3 points. They want the 5.
Great push by Canada. Looking solid.
Now the Canadian flankers, Danny Ball hurt himself. He's got a scrummage. He's got to give Rod Snow 100% support. Rod Snow on our side from St. John's, Newfoundland. Great scrummage in front. Danny's the flanker. He's got the tight head is pulling Rod down.
Collapse scrum. They'll do it again.
You can't have shoulders below hips. It's unsafe, and the referee has got to get on this side. The touch judge has got to make a call here. The way I see it from this side is that the Samoan tight head is pulling Rod down.
So Pala'amo having some difficulty with Snow. This time they hold it. Basham. High tackle against Basham, but he still hangs onto the ball. Referee allowing play to continue.
That's a mistake by Bob. It's Bob Ross, too high a tackle, dangerous tackle. He's got to bring the tackles down. That's not good. Do they want to tie it, or do they want to win it?
Samoan players deciding. Pat Lam will make the call, the captain of Samoa. Scrum down Samoa. They'll try it again, Gary.
Well, they say like tying a rugby game is like kissing your sister. And he wants the 5 points or the 7 points, not the 3. Very interesting.
Samoa with the drive forward.
He's got a
quick pick. Filemo not able to find his player. Penalty against Canada. Quick tap by Filemo. Back inside to Smith. He's short of the line. Samoa pounding forward. Referee penalizing Canada, not back 10, but it's pretty tough when you're inside 10, Gary.
It's very tough. You don't have to go back any further than your goal line. The Canadian players were caught not back far enough. The Samoans destroyed the Canada set. Another quick tap and run. Are they in the corner?
Samoa looking for the corner. Referee signaled Samoa with the try in the corner. And a quick tap and a quick try by Samoa. Congratulations all around by the Samoans. The drums have started beating again in the stadium, and Samoa with the lead. And it's the veteran Pat Lam crashing over in the corner. This is the Canadian bench looking very anxious. Just under 8 minutes to go in the second half.
Here's the replay. Maybe the Canadian players looking for the set scrum, but no, it's a drive. He tries to make it up. All he has to do is to touch that white line. That's definitely a try. And Courtney was sort of caught in between, trying to stay on his winger, but he realized, I've got to come in and make some kind of contact here, or the try is going to be scored. What we needed was a shoulder, a Samoan hit, a Canadian hit, a Danny Ball hit that takes the guy backwards. That's what we needed. We didn't quite get it. I think the Canadian players might have felt another set scrum. They relaxed a little bit. You can't go to sleep against a team like this.
So the veteran Pat Lam puts Samoa ahead, 15-13 for the moment. Vili will be looking to add to that total.
If he makes this, Canada needs more than a 3-point penalty to take the lead.
He struck it well. It's tailing off, but it hits the right, left upright, pops through, and Samoa ahead 17-13.
The Samoan crowd is going crazy. Here's the try again. No, it's a quick tap. Canada players on the move. You got to go forward. Got to go forward. Courtney tried to get his shoulder in, but he didn't get enough a piece of the Samoan player to knock him backwards. Good drive by the Samoans. Canada must respond.
And it's Pat Lam taking it on again for Samoa. Samoa on the move. Back inside to Faunali.
Move away! Bruno, stay back!
Basham now keeping it tight into Smith.
Yes, yes!
Samoa making progress. Lafualo. Filemo. Vili out there. Penalty against Canada. And Samoa looking like they're starting to open things up, Gary.
Well, Canada has to respond. They have to make the tackle. They've got to get a changeover. We got Danny Baugh down. He's been down a couple of times now. The replacement would probably Sharon have to go to the back row and bring in Big John Tate, the lineout specialist who plays with Danny at Cardiff. They're massaging his calves and maybe fatigue. They may be cramping up on him. He's certainly got a large muscle mass there in those two calves. So Canada's going to have to adjust. Samoan punched the ball directly out of bounds from the lineout. They gained nothing except they still have possession of the lineout.
Terrible shank by Bishop, the veteran All Black. 5 caps with the All Blacks. 3 against South Africa, 1 against France, 1 against Scotland. Leota with the put-in. They go short to Smith. Leota controlling things at the back. Leota and Lamb. Filemo to Bishop, keeping it tight.
We need the ball back. We've got to force the Samoans into kicking it or making a mistake.
Ball's out. Bishop linking well with Lamb. Throws it backwards, but it's intercepted almost.
Sorry.
So
Pat Dunkley touched the ball. We may have got a break on this. Kapinski, the touch judge, looking at John Tate. He's smiling about this one. Off Pat Dunkley, and we seem to get the put in the set scrum. We'll take it.
Referee apologizing. Don't hear that very often.
They're very polite. They're very polite.
Apologizing to Samoa, but it will be the Canadian put-in. Held by Schmidt, who picks. Loveday links with Brian, driving forward.
Get out!
Channeled back for Canada. Courtney Smith looking for space. Canada bring it back to blindside. Ross. Ball pops out. Loveday. Ross looking for Nichols, but it's gathered by Stanley. Loose ball picked up by Samoa now. Samoa. Filemo looking for some space. Bishop. Samoa working the open side. Courtney Smith with a tackle. Snow just missing. Vili. Filemo. Bishop. Back inside to Palaamo. And Samoa, a great drive going here. Good tackle by Mike James.
Turnover,
Stolen.
Canada.
Here comes Canada on the counter. Loveday looking for some daylight. Brian spinning.
Get some clears with him. There's a lot of forwards up the backs right now. Probably going to use this.
Overlap for Canada. If they can get it out. Danny Baugh looking to link. Hutchinson. Fortunate not to be called forward.
Referee says, okay, play on. Canada ball.
Ross back into James. Takes on Bishop. Sets the platform and Teal goes in to help.
We've got to get this ball down, Mark, and back. Otherwise, we don't get possession. We've got it. Will Bubby use his foot here?
Referee asking for it to come out. Teal playing scrum half. Nichols with the right foot.
I think that's the ball.
Deep kick. Will it find touch? It rolls out. It will be the Samoan put-in, but Canada now in the Samoan half.
Correct. And the Samoans are all over the field. They had a flanker out on the wing. Danny Baugh is cramped up again, and we're seeing John Tate. Danny Baugh has got to come off. It's just cramps, I think, and fatigue. He's worked hard today.
Very hot day here in Vancouver. Not a cloud in the sky.
Canada's substitution, number 21, John
Some
Tate,
heat fatigue maybe setting in on some of the players.
Well, John Tate is the premier lineout for it. It'll take Canada a second to readjust here. But he's a lineout specialist. He's also very quick around the field. And I think some fresh legs at this time may not be a bad idea.
So some shuffling in the Canadian forwards. Samoan player down on the field right now, receiving some attention and some anxious moments from Pat Parfrey.
Well, we've got to score 5 to win. 3's no good. You've got to score 5 to win. And this, they're calling for a replacement. Like Danny Baugh, there might be a bit of fatigue coming in here to the Western Samoans as well. They were looking a little dead as in the later stages of the play.
Number 18, Steven Sualo, will come in for Samoa. There's Danny Baugh receiving some attention. Cramps. Dr. Rui Avler attending to him on the sidelines. Play continues, though.
The clock stops by the referee when there's an injury and then starts again when he blows his whistle, which he's just done. So will they put I think they'll put Tate up and see if he can steal this lineup ball. Watch for John Tate to go about 1,000 miles in the sky. Watch him go way, way up.
Critical put in for Samoa.
No, it's delayed. They're taking too long. It's a penalty against Samoa. It's not kickable.
Canada will run. They'll have to
He
take
must
it
be
back
on
to
the
the
mark.
A big hit. We haven't seen that. Leota going at it with Tate. All sorts of trouble breaking out now. Still going on.
Well, Mark, we haven't seen any of that in any of the Canada games in Japan or in Fiji or in today's game. So we'll see how the referee handles this. He'll be talking to the touch judges, no doubt. It's quite clear what went on. Let's have a look at this again.
So the quick tap by Canada. The penalty had been called.
And then he's hit late.
Leaupepe.
Right.
And Tate going in to help out Rod Snow, standing up for his teammate.
Well, Leota is known for his big hits. And in the WASP training session, he is not allowed to contact. He's not allowed to tackle. When he played with Gareth in England, he's not allowed to any contact whatsoever.
Number 4. And out. Number 4. Yeah. Number 4.
I think he's got the wrong number 4, hasn't he?
Well, it looked as though Leota was the Samoan player that hit Rod Snow after the penalty had been called.
Right, and then John Tate came in to the aid of his teammate. He's talking number 4. He's got the wrong number 4. This is why the language thing breaks down a little bit. They're not able to explain to him. Dr. David Wickham, to explain to him, he's given him a yellow card to explain to him that who did what. He's got the Samoan number 4, didn't do much.
Right.
Now, is it a penalty or is it still a free kick? Free kick.
Free kick Canada. Outside the Samoan 22, looking to run it. Taken hard in by Sharon. Penalty against Samoa. Quick tap by Loveday. Scott Ross looking for Mike James. James driving forward. Canada looking for the try and the win.
No.
They're stopped just short of the Samoan line.
Ball on the ground, set scrum, Canada ball. Extremely important scrum for Canada.
Unbelievable action here late in the second half. We're into injury time. Samoa leading Canada 17-13. Canada can win it with an unconverted try. Unbelievably critical scrum down Canada ball just outside the Samoan goal line.
The crowd is going crazy. The Canada players, the players know it. Canada supporters know it. This scrum, if it stays up, it'll be a miracle.
Ball's in, Canada controlling. Schmidt, great scrum by Canada, pops out, Loveday, flicks the back pass, whistle. Fortunate for Canada, they'll get another shot at the scrum, but a loose ball by Loveday almost cost them.
Julian Loveday way too loose to the ball, way against the pattern of play, flipping the ball between his legs. That's not on in this situation. Mike Schmidt meant to hold that ball in. We were trying
Canada
to push them
will try
over.
and drive it forward again. Schmidt controlling the scrum. Working the ball at his feet, it's picked up. Referee allowing play to continue. Canada with the drive forward. Just outside the goal line, here's another press forward. They've produced the ball. Nichols back inside. Loveday to Ross. Ross keeping it tight. Held up just shy of the posts. Canada knocking on the door. Samoa desperate defense. Loveday looking for the ball. He's found it. Schmidt driving forward. He's held up. Ball still alive. Cross makes the half gap. He's held up. Canada need to get there and support. Canada down now. The question is, how long do we have in injury time, Gary?
We have no idea. The referee is the sole judge of time. This could be blown up before this ball even goes into the set scrum. Hopefully there'll be an injury or something, and that'll stop the clock. The only way to stop the clock is see the Samoan players down. I don't know if it's a real injury or a fake injury, but that's great because the clock stops. So we're going to get this set scrum at least.
Some tremendous action in the second half. We're into injury time. Canada needing the try for the win. Penalty won't do it. Pat Parfrey, anxious moments for the Canadian coach and the team.
Canada shoved Samoa over the line, but the ball came out. Can they do it again?
The chanting begins. And scrum. Canada trying to control it. It's wheeled. Schmidt with the pickup. Hutchinson held up. Canada trying to regroup. Loveday to Ross to Bryan. Trying to link back with the forwards. Just outside the Samoan post.
Offside back line.
Offside. Samoa.
You can't take three.
Quick tap.
It's a quick tap.
Oh, no, Snow. Snow driving to the line. Canada driving forward. Still shy of the Samoan line. Killing the ball, Samoan penalty. That could be it for Canada, Gary.
Only the referee is the sole judge of time. Again, there's guys down on the field. The clock is stopped. There's a penalty here against Canada. The Samoans will be kicking the touch. They're asking the referee right now how long left. The ball's kicked out of bounds.
Batshit makes touch.
That's it.
And unfortunately, Canada runs out of time. Samoa defeating Canada 17-13, but an unbelievable finish to today's game. Canada oh so close, Gary.
Canada so close, but still not the win. A much better performance by Canada, but still not enough. It's very upsetting for the players. They'll be very disappointed they didn't score on that last passage of play.
So a disappointing loss. We'll be back with CTV Sportsnet's coverage of the 1999 Epson Cup Pacific Rim Championships right after this.
Welcome back. With me is Garth Reef, Canada of Team Canada. And Garth, obviously a disappointing game for you. How much more sitting on the sideline to watch the end of it?
Well, obviously not what we had planned. A very disappointing day for us. We had great support here, and there's been a good feeling in the camp this week. And I know it wasn't the prettiest game on record, but we really dug at it. I would have loved if the boys had gone over the end, but I can't express how disappointed we are.
You're now 0-3 in the Pacific Rim Tournament. It seems out of reach. What more do you want to accomplish in the last two games?
We want to win our last games. There's no question about it. And I think it's more important that we come together and we start to see and start to believe in each other. We saw a lot of that in the last 5 minutes there. And we just got to keep working. And there's lots to work on there, fix the mistakes. And we're a proud bunch of Canadians. We want to keep putting this to zone and get some wins for Canada.
Thanks a lot, Garrett. This is Pacific Rim Rugby Tournament. Canada losing the final 17-13. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hey, welcome back. Once again, the final score, Samoa 17, Canada 13. And Gary, we talked about it off the top of the show. The key threes, Gareth Rees unfortunately couldn't make the whole game.
Well, Gareth Rees didn't play the whole game, but he made a great performance while he was on. I think that was a very positive thing for Canada. Canada turnovers, there were less of them today. Much better performance. And certainly, Mark, we saw the Samoan smack cause Canada some problems.
The Samoan smack, but Canada will be back. We'll be back with more action of the post-game from CTV Sportsnet coverage of the 1999 Pacific Rim Cup Rugby Championships. Welcome back, and once again, the final, Samoa 17, Canada 13, and Gary, it was that final Samoan try that sealed the deal for Samoa.
Samoa's last try, a quick tap feed, former All Black. Pat Lam driving for the corner. Courtney tries, but can't stop scoring. That was Samoa's last score.
So Pat Lam with the try for Samoa. And don't forget, Epson Cup Pacific Rim Rugby action continues on CTV Sportsnet June 19th. Canada takes on the U.S. in Toronto. Game time, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Remember, CTV Sportsnet is the home of the 1999